Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. About 2 years ago, around the time that Putin first invaded Ukraine, I had a dream one night. In the dream, I was listening to a Peter Schitt show, and Peter Schitt was bragging about how he was right about his predictions about gold and silver. In the dream, silver was $60,000 an ounce. And as I was listening to the Peter Schitt show, I was packing up my bags. I was going to move to Ukraine. I had met of a Ukrainian refugee, which is really interesting because I had the dream before I actually met the Ukrainian refugee. And I was packing my bags. I brought along with me a 1 kilogram of silver bar because that's all I would need to retire in Ukraine. But then I thought about keeping that 1,000 ounce silver bar that I bought just before the pandemic because I had a very interesting story about how I acquired that bar. There was a lot of supply shortages at the time, and I went through 2 days of hell being on the phone and taking care of paperwork just to acquire that bar. So I wanted to keep it. Packing my bags, stuff that I would need for the trip to Ukraine and all that. And I was listening to the Peter Schitt show. Peter Schitt was going, I was right. All he was bragging. And then I woke up, which was kind of unfortunate. But then I remembered that I've had many dreams in the past that have come to pass. And so I wasn't too upset that it wasn't real. And then a couple months later, I actually do meet a Ukrainian refugee. And so it didn't really turn out that well. But you know what? I had a good time during the time I was with her. One thing that really bothers me a lot, I when I have feelings for somebody, I actually don't mind if they hook up with somebody else. I'm happy for them. What I really despise is a girl that I like who then doesn't go out to meet anybody else, right? And so that always bothered me a lot. It doesn't bother me so much anymore, but in the past that used to be that used to be very upsetting to me. Um, uh, a special case of that is when I was a kid. There was this celebrity. I won't say her name because she might be watching my video. There was a celebrity from another country that I really liked, but she had never dated, and it was very upsetting to me that she refused to share her body with it. It was very upsetting to me. I would rather see her date somebody else, and that wouldn't make me jealous at all, right? But nowadays I'm a little bit more accepting of that. But I got to admit, even I myself am not immune to prejudice like that. Uh, but I was thinking about the dream about Peter Schitt, and I hope I'm right about that. I teach at Central Arizona College, and I got a huge burden on me. There's this colleague I cannot stand. He's here right now, and the other day, he's not a bad person, but there was a circumstance that happened the other day, and I so badly want to fantasize about stabbing him like I did earlier today, and I can't stand him anymore. I don't know what to do anymore. This is one of those times where I wish I could just quit my job like in a rage, right? And if I turned on the Peter Schitt show tonight, and it really does, the shit really does hit the fans. Oh my god, I'm gonna quit my job, right? And look for some other job. I mean, I don't dislike work. I only dislike it when there's conflict like that, right? But uh, I once dream I took over the road, and well, and then I had another dream a few nights ago. Well, uh, I I often have this dream that I'm hanging from a high place, or I'm working on like home remodeling or something, and I'm just clutching and and I can't let go. And let's say I'm working on this roof right here, right? See those wooden panels, and I'm just stuck up there. I often have dreams like that. I don't know what they mean though. Those ones, thankfully, have never 100% come to pass. But you know what? I've been in dangerous situations too. Maybe not hanging from a high place, but there have been times where I'm working on casting metal, and something dangerous happens, right? A reaction goes out of control more than I had thought so, right? And so that could be the equivalent of that. But I really do hope. I hope it's silver that goes up though, because I could care less about that. I don't. I still want to work with bismuth. So if tomorrow I wake up and bismuth is worth $60,000 an ounce, I don't know if I'll be that happy about it. I don't know. That's one of those things that has to happen before I can judge whether or not that's a good or a bad thing, right? I think I wouldn't be too happy, by the way. But silver, I don't really work with it all that much. It could go to 60,000 an ounce. I need your suggestions on how to deal with that colleague. Let me talk about what happened last Wednesday. I was already very, 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 very stressed out. I haven't had a good break in many, 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 many months, and I had hoped to go into that adjunct office, it's right there, and listen to some music. But unfortunately, my office mate was in there, and I wanted to tell him like, get out of here. I really did, just so I could listen to something. And I waited for him to leave, and there was no signs of him finishing. I even looked over his shoulder to see what he was doing, to see if there's any signs of that letting up. I didn't know what. I couldn't really recognize what he was doing, so I didn't know. But I was stressed, and I so badly wanted to kill him. So I closed my eyes, and I fantasized about stabbing him. And he had a cup of coffee on his desk, and I thought about putting something nasty in there. Maybe it's not something that would outright kill him, but something that might make his body smell really bad, right? For a few weeks at least. I fantasized about that. Don't get me wrong, I won't try that. But I fantasized about that. And so I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do anymore. And he's in the office right now. I don't want to sit in there, but I'm very upset. And it's one of those times where, but I love my students. I don't want to quit my job over that, even if I could afford to. I mean, I technically could, but I love my students, and this is the kind of problem I run into a lot. My first day here at CAC, I ran into a problem just like that. That made me upset for a few weeks as well. I had to talk to an HR person, and he was drinking a coffee and making this noise that the sound of him drinking, sipping the coffee made me want to throw up. And I so badly wanted to say, you know what, I quit. I so badly wanted to say that. It was on the tip of my tongue. But I really loved the students, and so I grudgingly signed the paperwork and all that. I know. But can you imagine one day if I'm powerful, if I'm Kim Jong Un, for example, and I could assassinate somebody on the spot, or I could tell that guy to put his coffee down, and grab it out of his hand and toss it out the window, right? I would so much love to do that, right? That's why I want you guys to pray that silver goes to $60,000 an ounce. This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.